The Cornell Pro Dairy Program and the Northeast Dairy Producers Association is pleased to be able to present this webinar, Plan Your Response to Manure Spills and Other Emergencies. Our presenter for this important topic is Mark Berger. Mark has considerable expertise in this area with his work with the Onondaga County Soil and Water Conservation District. So, without further ado, here's Mark.
My name is Mark Berger. I'm the Program Manager for the Skinny Atlas Lake Watershed Agricultural Program and the Onondaga County Soil and Water Conservation District Executive Director. I'm here today to share with you our 12 years worth of experience on agricultural spills and emergency response. We kind of build a program from the ground up. It's by no means perfect, and it's by no means the only way to do things, but we're excited to share with you how we do things here in Onondaga County in the Skinny Atlas Lake Watershed, and look forward to hearing from you folks that are going to be building programs and moving the initiative even farther forward. We can all learn from each other. So our history started back in 2003. We have many award-winning dairy farms in our county, and this particular farm had a blue upright manure storage and bud ground, and they had a problem. They were noticing that manure was backflowing out of the hopper where the piston pump is from the storage. It was filling up the manure loading room, flowing out the doorway to the road ditch and heading downstream towards one of the county's premier trout streams. This happened in February of 2003, and what we did is we quickly realized that, boy, this is going to happen again, and we need to be prepared. In this situation, you can see in the lower right-hand corner of the slide that the concrete floor had cracked, and that provided an avenue for the manure to backflow under pressure through the pipe system, through the manure hopper, the piston pump and the manure hopper. The guillotine valve was stuck, couldn't get that to actuate to shut off the backflow, and additionally there was a foreign object holding the flapper valve open or the backflow valve open on the piston pump. So we had a combination of problems all going on at the same time causing this situation. I'm proud to announce that there was no contravention of water quality. The road ditch was frozen solid with snow, so all that manure was in the road and it made it easier to clean up. There was no trout harmed or other aquatic life in the process. But, like I said prior, it really got us thinking, what about farms with manure storage? What about farms with milk storage? What about petroleum storage, pesticide, herbicide storage, the anhydrous ammonia? And we told the farmers, and this presentation's for you, and every farm, no matter what type, has some type of storage, and we really got their attention. Again, I have to emphasize that our events have happened on our best managed, award-winning farms in the county. So accidents can, do, and will happen, and we need to be as prepared as we can. So I want to take you to our most recent event in Onondaga County. You can see we're located in the very central part of New York State. This happened in the Skinny Atlas Lake Watershed, which is on the very western side of our county. This water supply is designated exclusively for the city of Syracuse. It's their drinking water supply for their 200,000 residents and businesses. The event that happened on a farm on the east side of the lake, roughly two-thirds of the way down the lake. It's where the land starts to get real steep and challenging. This event happened on Saturday, April 25th. I received a phone call at roughly 2:45 in the afternoon on my cell phone at home. And the call from the contractor said, that the manure spreading contractor said, boy, it's bad, you better get here. What had happened was there was a hole in the drag hose. They were drag hosing the manure onto the cropland. It happened, unfortunately, right adjacent to a tributary. The manure was spraying out of the drag hose, landing on the banks and in the tributary, and that all flows down these steep slopes to Skinny Atlas Lake. It's important to note that there's 10 other municipalities that take water off the conduit pipes between Skinny Atlas Lake and the city of Syracuse. Again, I emphasize this is an award-winning farm, 1994 Onondaga County Outstanding Cooperator of the Year, and in 2006 they were the Skinny Atlas Lake Watershed's Environmental Steward of the Year. Very progressive farm. Where this water was ending up was in 10 Mile Point Brook, which enters Skinny Atlas Lake at a location known as Lourdes Camp. Lourdes is a very popular destination for Boy Scout troops and for scuba divers. Syracuse University does their checkout dives there. And it just happened on this day that there were 40 scuba divers there for the weekend doing their checkout dives. There was a large Boy Scout contingency there having a camporee for the weekend. There were some camp owners there. And all these folks extract the water from Skinny Atlas Lake and drink it directly. So the farm said, what should we do? Should we get down there and notify the folks that are there? We know there's activity. And I said, yes, you definitely need to get down there, tell the divers that probably want to get out of the water. There's stuff coming at them. Everybody should stop consuming water from the lake. No more, shut down your intake pipes. And then the farm jumped right over, and the manure contractor, to spill response mode. The lower picture you can see here is looking north up the lake, and there's already a lot of boats in the slips, and there's already people at the camp sitting on their docks. So we all had a lot of work to do to, one, minimize the spill reaching the lake, and two, notifying all the folks of what was about to be coming towards them. So what is spill response mode? For the manure contractor, it was shutting down the pump and putting a tractor tire, a big tractor tire, over the manure hose, drag hose, so that they could stop the backflow of manure in either direction. This line had been operating somewhere between 150 to 200 psi. The farm was able to get plywood and bales, round bales, and get them down and block off the nearest cross culverts to the spill so that we could make containment points to pump. Responders needed to mobilize equipment. For me personally, I was outside in the shed working on our lawnmowers and putting away our snowblower for the winter, and so I had to put my stuff aside, run inside, tell the family what was happening. It's 2:45 in the afternoon. New day is going to turn into night. It's going to get cold. Better take extra clothes. Better take some water, a bite to eat. Head right to the office, grab the company truck, grab the whole farm plan for its emergency response component in it, grab the topographic maps for the area we're going to be working in, and make sure I have my portable cell phone charger as well as my hands-free device, because it takes about an hour and a half to get from my house to the site of the spill, and we did a lot of conversing over the cell phone in that time. The other thing I did that's most important is I checked our Farm of the Year board, because the media is going to come calling and you better have some good things to say. And so I checked to confirm when this farm won their award so that I had that information on the tip of my tongue as we're addressing the media. And the other important part is grab everything you think you're going to need and then grab more, because you don't really know what you're going to encounter when you get there. So I grabbed all the hose we had, extra casts, tools, the pumps, traffic safety cones, everything I could think of that we're going to need for this spill response. And you can see in the pictures I'm pumping with our portable trash pump where the farm was able to block off the road culvert. We were just pushing that water uphill and back onto the cropland so that it would infiltrate into the soil and consume those nutrients that were in the water. So downslope, closer towards Skinny Atlas Lake, you can see the lake in the background, and you can see Lourdes Camp to the right in this slide. There's another cross culvert, and so the farm made an impoundment there, and they also put some bales up to try to slow down and collect any manure solids that were moving in that direction. The farm's manure applicator had a portable hydraulic pump that runs off a tractor. They got that set up in the water course. They got a tractor for a power supply down there. They got a tripod loading pipe, and they called everybody they knew within a 2-hour radius that had manure tankers, both truck and tractor tankers, to respond so that we could pump as much water as possible and get that manure-laden water back up to the farm and put into manure storage. I know personally at our site, the volunteer fire department responded twice to bring us extra hand line, because one of the problems we were having is as the ground got saturated, that manure water was running over the surface and back down the slope at me. And so we called 2 times for extra hose so we could get this water farther out in the field so it didn't back up into the stream. And this process went on for many hours. In the end, what really happened was where the site of the spill started and down at the lake, it took 2.5 hours for the manure-laden water to get there, flowing through the stream. So it gave the farm and their manure contractor ample time to get set up down there. We know water flows downhill and it was coming at us, so they did an excellent job. All total, when we quit at about 8:45 that evening, we figure we had pumped over 100,000 gallons of manure-laden water. It was an 8-hour response from start to finish. Some of the responders on our team had to go back on Sunday. The Department of Environmental Conservation was out there. The county health department was involved. Just in the amount of time that we figured we all spent in travel, it was in excess of $12,000 to address the spill. One of the things that we couldn't help but think about was the media is going to be calling, what are we going to say? And one of the realities is we are human. We're working with man-made products. There's going to be accidents, and this is our response, and it was the best that it could be. Plus the award-winning component of the farm. Lessons learned. One of the things that we should have done, and we learned from every event that we're on, is somebody should have got up and put an eyeball on the source of the leak ASAP. We did not get to that site until the second day, and there were some things we could have done up there to collect some of those manure solids. What we did do the second day was we did have the farm bale chop that area with straw so that they could absorb some of those manure nutrients. We knew we had another weather pattern moving in Sunday night, and we didn't want that manure to mobilize and get back into the stream and into the lake. The other component is you'll never hide in today's world of social media. Everybody has a cell phone, everybody has a camera, and most everybody is on some type of social media site, and primarily everybody texts. So the word's going to get out. Get ahead of it, be on top of it, tell people what you're doing, tell them you're doing your best job, and tell them you're going to give them more information as it becomes available. For me, one of the things I should have done is I grabbed the closest truck that we had in our fleet, which is a Ford Ranger. I should have grabbed the full-size pickup, because all the equipment that we hauled to the site, all the people that we moved around the site, we really needed a crew cab, we really needed a full-size box so that we could keep all of our resources safely in the truck. The other thing I realized was we respond to somewhere between 3 to 5 events a year, and if you see an improvement to be made in your spill response equipment, you make it as soon as you get back to the shop. Don't wait. And what I realized is I've been meaning to put a backflow valve on our pump, and I hadn't. And I got to tell you, every time I had to discharge the line and reprime the pump and get started, it was a pretty messy experience. And so that morning at 8 o'clock, I was at the fire apparatus shop buying the parts and pieces I needed to get our pump better equipped. The bottom line is we always need to be ready to do our best response. I have to emphasize that this spill was from a pencil-sized hole. in a supply line operating under 150 to 200 pounds of pressure per square inch. So even the littlest nick in a line, with that line being in a sensitive location like a river, a stream, a wetland, road ditch, can create a lot of problems for you. So we've got to be really careful of our manure drag hose equipment and make sure we're using good quality product that's been checked over thoroughly. I want to just break into some of the other types of spills and show you some pictures from the responses that we've been to. In the upper left-hand corner, this was a manure spill in the winter of this year. On that top row in the center, a couple years ago, we had a milk tanker overturned. And sometimes it isn't about what happened, it's about where it happened. That happened in the headwaters of the watershed that supplies water for our county trout hatchery. So milk can suck oxygen out of water. It was extremely important that we had made an impoundment, started evacuating the milk so it couldn't go downstream and harm the fish in the hatchery. We had barn fires, and we know with barn fires we put a lot of water on for runoff, and we've got to be careful of where that water goes. At this particular fire, we were able to shut down some of our water and sediment control basins so that fire runoff water wasn't directly discharging to a stream that enters Skaneateles Lake. We've also had accidents where the gates have opened on manure spreaders, and they might have happened in a four-way intersection on a busy state road. And so we had to make impoundments, we've had to do containment and pumping, and then we've also had the fire department there to flush the highway off to keep it safe for the motoring public. We've had silos that have started to collapse, and they've collapsed in areas where there's a lot of propane and petroleum product and a lot of livestock. And again, that runoff water flows to the county trout hatchery, so we took extra precautions there. Turns out all other than the silos collapsing, all other emergencies were avoided, but you need to put your best response forward, and that's what's happened. So you can see from these pictures there's a lot of opportunity lurking out there, and there's things waiting to happen that none of us can even practically imagine. So we need to be as prepared as possible, have our best game plan on. One of the things I want to emphasize is dry fertilizer spills. They do happen. Bolts break in gravity box wagons, and fertilizer gets dribbled for miles down the road. What we don't want to do, and I'm a volunteer fireman myself, and I love to get on the fire truck and ride and spray water, but that's the last thing we want to do on a dry fertilizer spill. What we want to do is call the local highway department, whether it's town, village, county, or state, and ask them if they have a sweeper truck in the area. And if they do, ask them to come and sweep up this dry fertilizer and take it back to the farm and dump it off in the farmer's shop. That way you're not creating a contravention of water quality because all those nutrients aren't getting into the road ditches and flowing down to our streams, rivers, wetlands, and lakes. And the farmer's recovering the financial investment that they had in that fertilizer. So that's an excellent way. It's probably the best way, the only way that we should be addressing dry fertilizer spills. If animals are involved in any of our emergencies, we need to treat it just like we do with normal routine business. Make sure we're using our best animal handling practices in emergencies. We've had people ask, I want to start a response team. What would you recommend? What we recommend is calling all the parties that support agriculture in your community. Call your soil and water district. Call your farmers. Nothing better than farmer-to-farmer support. Ask the New York State DEC. I know that sounds goofy, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. Ask County Emergency Management, our contractors that do our earthwork, our best management practices on our farms, our Cornell Cooperative Extension, our U.S. Department of Agriculture folks, and our 911 center. And those people that show up to the table, that's who you have to work with. Now engage those minds and start moving the initiative forward. That's your committed team. So talking about the roles of these individual parties, the Soil and Water District can provide a technical support at the command pool during the emergency. don't want to take over the emergency, but you can be a technical resource. You can bring your equipment. You can have your people that have training and experience on these spills to help advise the emergency managers. They may have never dealt with something like this before. Our 911 center and our county emergency management, integral parts of the team. Our 911 center actually has a spill response flow chart that they can follow when these type of calls come in, and then they have an updated contractor list that they can turn to. So depending on what type of equipment's necessary, that can be mobilized very rapidly. The DEC, and I know you're all going to think, boy, they're the last people that I want to call. They're one of the first people you have to call. If you have a spill, you're required by law to call the New York State DEC. You're required to notify them of the spill, where it happened, how much is estimated to be released. But they also have experience with this. They work in districts that have many counties under their jurisdiction. They've seen it. A lot of them have been to these type of emergencies, and they can contribute an awful lot. I know here in DEC Region 7 of Syracuse, we rely on them immensely. Our contractors. Who knows your farm better than you? Sometimes nobody does, but the contractors that work with you on a regular basis know your farm pretty well. They know you. Build a relationship with them. Ask them if they want to be part of a spill response team. Know that you may need to financially compensate them for coming out and assisting with the spill. But we do have a lot of contractors here in our region that said, yep, we want to be on that spill response team. We want to help our farmers. They provided us their 24/7, 365-day information, so we can always contact them day or night. They have a listing of equipment on file with us. They have a listing of special trainings that they have had their employees take, and we work periodically with them, building best management practices at the farm. It's a great way to continue cultivating the relationship. Your neighbor farms. Here in central New York, we're very fortunate. A lot of our farms work together, and as everybody knows, farmers are great technical resources. They're skilled equipment operators. They're great at thinking fast on their feet. They have a lot of resource, and some of the big farms have a lot of employees and personnel that they can contribute. So build this relationship with your neighbor farms before you need them. Make sure that you can call on them in the time of an emergency, and let them know they can call on you. And the pictures in this slide just show you what is typically available at a lot of these farms. And these are all resources that we've used on various spills. So make sure you get your response plan on paper. And we'll break this slide down a little more. So here's the flow chart that's used in our county, and it breaks spills down according to petroleum-based and agricultural-based. And if the 911 dispatcher follows this flow chart, they know who to call, and the numbers are readily available. And you'll see, even though the numbers are blackened out on the slide, they have our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-year contact information at home and on our cell phone, so they can reach the Soil and Water District employees in Onondaga, Cayuga, and Cortland counties, and the Skinny-Atlas Lake Watershed Ag Program. We have the County Department of Health information. We have Town Highway Department officials, State DOT contact information, and the City of Syracuse Department of Water information. So everything is at that 911 call taker's fingertips. Then we have the spill response plan with a variety of different types of contractors on paper. And so, for instance, water trucks. We've used private water trucks that come in and help to flush banks where manure is accumulated, where we can pump it out of the road ditch. Farm support. All of our farms that have come to us and said, we want to be on that spill response list, and here's our equipment. So we have their names, their addresses, their home and office phones, as well as their cell phones, so that they're available 24/7, 365. We have, in our county, we do technical large animal emergency rescue. We're building and growing a team for that. And so we also think about what happens in animal emergencies. What if we have to shelter livestock? So we have a relationship with the New York State Fairgrounds. Maybe you want to have a relationship with your county fairgrounds. We have our county water authority. They contribute trained personnel and equipment. We have livestock haulers. What if we need, say it's a big barn fire, or what if it's an accident on a highway? We have the ability to contact people that bring trailers in for those type of emergencies. We do a lot with invasive species, and right now the emerald ash borer and the ash trees, and we know there could be the potential for some of these trees we're cutting to have wildlife in them that could get injured, and so we have wildlife rehabilitators on our list. We also have a media support representative listed 24/7, 365. So should we need somebody exclusively designated to handle the media, we have a person at our fingertips. We also have the New York State veterinarian on our list. You never know when you're going to need the services they provide. One of the most important parts is don't let this get stale. If you're going to invest the time and the resources to build a program, continue to get everybody together, continue to train, continue to stay fresh. And staff training, team training is one of the most important parts of the program. Keep it simple. Our equipment's very simple. Picture of our portable pump, picture of our suction line, and picture of our fire hose. And the system works really good. These pumps can move a lot of water in the course of an hour, and we have a couple of those pumps at our disposal. Again, take the biggest truck you have. You never know how much material and people you need to move around these sites. Take your traffic cones, keep your people in their safety vests, their hard hats, and their safety glasses. We want everybody to come home from these events as healthy and safe as they arrived. For us, we're looking at buying a small 5x8 enclosed trailer to put all our spill response equipment in. One of the things that takes time is when the phone call comes in to us, we need to mobilize, load up, and go. And this could save that load up step. It's all in the trailer. All we have to do is hook up, check the lights, and head down the road. So that's what we see is the next opportunity for our program. Make sure you're networking with the other resources in your community. For instance, the city of Syracuse and the county has provided the Skinny Atlas Fire Department on the north end of Skinny Atlas Lake with a spill response trailer and a lot of resources in that trailer. Fire department has trained resources. The chief has come to our meetings and trainings, told us what they have, how they can work with us, and how we can work with them. And our county also has 3 other trailers strategically located in all aspects or quadrants of the county so that the closest trailer can respond. So know what resources are out there. Let them know what your resources are, and work together and train together. So our goal is a coordinated response effort. It's bringing everybody together to work together to solve the problem of the spill, and that's where we need to keep focused. And we need to do that safely and in a timely manner and put our best response forward. I need to give a shout out with a special thank you to 3 key people whose without their assistance, this program would have never got off the ground in 2003. One of them is our program manager, Doug Fisher. He was on that first response back in 2003, saw how we could improve and continue building a better program. His brother, Dave Fisher. Dave's a retired dairy farmer. He's a supervisor at our county 911 center, and Dave was the key person to get the flow charts into the hands of the call takers at the 911 center. You need a person like Dave on your team. And Scott Cook from the New York State DEC Region 7. Scott has been invaluable with his people, supporting this effort and responding on spills and working together with the team to help make sure we're protecting water quality. So without all their input, direction, guidance, and support since our first spill in 2003, we wouldn't be sitting here in front of you today sharing this information. I've got to remind everybody yet again, we got to stay safe out there. We got to come home in the same number of parts and pieces that we responded to that spill. So stay safe out there. Use your heads. Wear your safety gear and put your best response forward. And here's my contact information. I look forward to hearing from you. If you're going to start a program, I look forward to hearing what your experiences are after you get the program started, because we can all learn from each other. I want to say thank you for your time to participate in this training today. Stay safe and keep water and air clean. Thank you.